I don't know if you saw, but on November 1st, they're going to roll out some of these new rule changes that allow 12 to 6 elbows, and they've redefined what a grounded opponent is. Curious, did you hear this news, and what do you make of these rule changes that people seem to think should have been made a long time ago?
What many thought was a revolution in the world of mixed martial arts sports has turned out to be UFC altering the rules with amendments as listed below. Since October 1st, in situations that allow one of the contenders to have one hand on the ground, an opponent can deliver a knee or a kick to the head. This new rule is quite different from the old policy of the organization to outlaw such strikes if the opponent is not unfit by touching the ground with at least one knee. These changes can be immense and may presage fresh definitions to the modes of commencement and organization of fights. Why now? This has made the UFC alter this rule, and the outcome has, as usual, sparked lots of heated discussions among the fighters, analysts, and fans. Ever since, rivals have been able to twist the current rules within their straits advantage, which has repeatedly invited resistance and disappointments. Some folk believe that the approval of these strikes will make the fighting more realistic and therefore promote better compliance with the strict laid-back ethos of the sport. But what is the fate of the fighters who were prepared for the struggle under the previous circumstances? Will this serve as a new call for changes in the game plans and disciplines, or will this worsen it in the octagon stage?
To get ready to go again soon. I mean, could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man? That'd be legendary.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, we got Conor McGregor stepping into our BKFC square circle.
During these changes, the fight fans are set to be treated to another storm between UFC veterans Conor McGregor and Mike Perry. Their beef was taken to another level after Perry's recent defeat to Jake Paul. McGregor, who had a lot of exposure on social media and has been infamous for his temper, did not take long to declare Perry fired off from the promotion, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, or BKFC, in which Perry had been quite active. McGregor's alleging that Perry was fired from BKFC has been disputed by Perry, who translated that McGregor's recent buy into the company gave him the right to decide for himself. Perry's response included an offer for McGregor to come and fight Jake Paul himself, as if there is a personal vendetta between the two popular personalities. Personal dislike is a primary reason why these two don't see eye to eye, but it goes beyond that. McGregor and Perry embody certain trends in the fight community as a whole. McGregor himself is known to be quite vocal, and Perry could not back down from the challenge which describes and characterizes MMA. With Perry intending to start his promotion, which may very well put him in direct opposition to McGregor's desires, will this lead only to words or something much more?
I should have picked my shots a little bit better, but he's tough, he's durable, but he doesn't beat me in a given day. You know, I believe if we fight 10 times, I'll beat him 10 times, and that's just it. He was a late step in for Hamzat, fell out, and I think he should go back, work his way back up, and then hopefully we can meet somewhere down the line. But
while the UFC is currently witnessing the biggest set of reforms in its practice, today's attention is paid to the new match between Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad. As planned for UFC 304, this bout will be a turning point for both fighters. As Edwards huffs and puffs about wanting to knock out Reign, Belal Muhammad has made it clear that he wants to wrestle with the welterweight champion, and even warned him that he is willing to stand, strike, and wrestle as ordered from the time of the fight. Cunningham brought a new dimension here to an already interesting match between Muhammad and his opponent when the former stated, "I will translate that, the physical preparation, into the wrestling ring by jumping straight into the wrestling match and displaying my readiness for wrestling." Muhammad's confidence is well placed. His recent fights are victories against Sean Brady and Gilbert Burns, where Montaña shows his strength and effective striking. However, with Edwards being one of the top technical strikers in the division, the question remains, will Muhammad's wrestling experience be enough to bring him victory over Edwards, who seems to dominate the striking department? The fact that the two fighters were taken out of their previous fight early, due to one of them putting his finger in the other guy's eye, gives a bit of intrigue to the matchup. Since the two bring out total opposites in terms of coaching preference, this rematch could change the fate not only of the two fighters, but of the welterweight department as well. To what extent will Muhammad evolve tactically to counteract Edwards? Can Muhammad take advantage of new rules to level the playing field for himself? To everyone's amazement, the former featherweight title contender Alexander Volkanovski said that Tom Aspinall could well be the man who will beat Jones and hand him his first real loss in MMA. Such fighters as Jake the Grim Aspinall, who occupies the status of the interim champion of the heavyweight division, are rapidly gaining popularity and recognition. From top to bottom, the new generation of heavyweights appears to be lighter, faster, and more technical than any generation that has come before it.
I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Paris. I'm going to be sat front row for Cyril Gane against Sergey Spivak. I'm going to beat the winner, and then I'm going to beat John Jones.
And if Aspinall does stand opposite Jones, then it could be a harbinger of a change at the top of the heavyweight mountain. The hints given by Volkanovski show that Aspinall's speed and skills can become decisive when fighting against Jones. However, how this will be applicable in the context of the UFC and the current scheduling and fight cards.
Mike Tyson, your next big boy, sign the contract, November 15th on Netflix.
Some of the recent callouts that Jake Paul has made have put even more spice to the MMA. For the record, after Paul's win against Mike Perry, he called out Alex Pereira for a boxing match. This has raised eyebrows of fans and pundits regarding possible crossover bouts. Paul gets unnecessarily aggressive at some point to challenge Pereira with the view of seeking legitimacy and top ranking as a boxer. Besides courting Pereira's reaction to the possibility of the fight and possible interest he has in the bout could reopen the discussion on the use of crossover fights and their influence on both combat sports. As you watch the fight, the question of Paul getting matched up with Pereira, a UFC champion, has people thinking about the future of such mixes. Will such fights become more frequent? And how the collision will next affect the connection between boxing and MMA? In what ways can you envision that the existing rivalries and future bouts would determine the further development of the sport? Please do not hesitate to express yourself or post a comment in the comments section below.